I just found out
Hello.
that the promotional post that I made for this live stream yesterday included someone else than Ola Linczewska. I'm going to
Yeah.
my profile right now to see. Okay, maybe I can go here. So x.com, I will share my screen right from the start.
Yeah, go ahead.
So share screen. I will share the entire screen, which is this.
I think I have an underscore after my name, I think.
So Anisha, this is a browser with an account that is made specifically for this purpose. So I'm gonna say that I'm 120 years old.
Okay.
Which is
Go
appropriate to what
one-
Ellen what has been saying.
Yeah,
right?
go 150. Go ahead.
I couldn't. Like I could only select 120.
That's too bad.
Your username is unique. Okay, that's fine. Skip for now. Skip for now. I'm interested in the entertainment. This is entertainment. Thank you for all 16 people that are watching us right now.
Yes.
And
Welcome.
this is music
And
because we sing sometimes.
And go ahead and say hello and say where you're from, because I'm curious who's watching us.
Oh, you mean listeners and viewers, right?
No, or not you, Lucas. We should introduce ourselves though, shouldn't we?
Probably. I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm Anisha from Amazon, and I'm with Ola and Lucas.
Yeah. And I'm Ola. I'm in my home in Gdynia, Poland, and I'll be talking with Anisha and Łukasz about state of React Native.
Now it sounds like I live in Amazon. Let me clarify. I live in London. I live in London. I don't live at Amazon. I work at Amazon.
Living in Amazon, well, that would be interesting. Like trying to work remotely and be a software developer and live in like a forest somewhere. That would be weird.
And I'm Łukasz, and I misspelled Ola's login on Twitter handle.
Handle.
What's
yeah,
your handle? So that's not
There's
P
an underscore. That's P underscore psyche underscore.
Oh. What's okay? I can just do this. Ola.
I'm curious. Why did you create a new account?
Because I want to use this browser, which doesn't have any of my either work proprietary stuff or like personal things that I'm ashamed of to like stream live. So I've created a bunch of new things only on this browser, and X apparently is one of them. I also have like a paid version of Perplexity because there was what was it called? Like a promotion going on in some Polish T-Mobile. So I paid, I don't know, $1 for a new SIM card, and then I could get like 1 year of Perplexity Pro for it.
Oh, okay, cool. So if I get like mean comments on my post, it's just Lucas from his new profile.
Yeah. This is my new work right now. Anisha, actually, like I can see in the comments that you have a huge fan base.
Do I? Well,
Yes.
Where are these comments? Are they
It's right here on the StreamYard. You go to the right and you click comments.
And you can
I don't think I can
see
I
that
can't do that because I'm just
Gio says hi. Gio is one of Anisha's co-workers.
I'm only a guest, so I don't. Oh, okay, here we go. I see it. Oh, here we go. Just my colleagues.
And then
it's just
Moses.
I'm just Łukasz's colleague, so it's all colleagues here.
And Ola, I'm not sure if you're aware, but like we are streaming and we are chatting and we have this like background of your Twitter profile.
Yeah, but I'm not ashamed of it. I think there's Madame Curie, so
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And sorry for misspelling your
That's okay.
handle.
That's okay. Like I feel Twitter is so dead, anyways.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Like I go on Twitter every few days, but I feel there's not much going on there.
Our last live stream from last week from Thursday last week
Yeah.
was based entirely on Twitter shitstorm.
Well, okay, yeah, that's good. I wonder if the same
I'm not
shitstorm
sure if
happened
this
on
happened
Blue
on.
Sky.
Yeah, let me check.
Yeah, well, that's a good question.
I'm gonna open my
How
private
are you
browser
gonna?
here.
How are you? No, you can like create a Blue Sky account for your streaming thing, right? No?
It might be. It might
Is
be.
this live stream just going to be Lucas just creating?
Yeah,
new
it might be boring
accounts?
for me to just spend the whole live stream creating new accounts.
Because if he can't create a new project, he's gonna create new accounts. You know.
I'm gonna create some new projects today. That's definitely
There you
okay.
go.
What are we going on about today?
The State of React Native 2024.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I have it here
that's what we're gonna talk about.
and view
How-
results. So I was actually feeling this out live on this live stream a month ago. So some of my answers will be here.
Yeah, you and like 3,000 other people. How are we going to differentiate your answers from the rest?
Because
can be the
in
test.
one of them there was an open question. How did you like find out about this survey? And I wrote open answer. Mike made me do it live on live stream. Let's
Okay.
see if this went in. I'm
Sounds-
not
Yeah,
sure.
I'll check it.
Okay. How do you
Can
want
you
to?
can you drop like the link to the
Again.
to the thing that we're looking at in the comments so that people can also click
Yeah.
if they want to? There you go.
I can do it here. Okay.
So smart.
So how do we do it so it's not boring as fuck?
We are not boring, so job well done.
So last time when we did it, me, Ola, and Shimon, we were making jokes about Shimon's academic degree. What's
I
your
mean, it was
academic
his fault,
degree,
like-
Anisha?
yeah.
My,
let's go down that
okay.
path.
I did bioengineering and then my master's was in mechanical engineering. Yeah, you can't make fun of me.
Well, that's exactly how we made fun of Shimon.
Why?
No, we made fun of Shimon because he said like common folk might do this, and he was like, so we made fun of him. So you know,
No,
Well,
like,
what was his degree?
he had
something
one.
super smart.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I made this like master's degree in something, probably computer science. But
I
he,
think computer science. Yeah,
he was saying things like common folk.
yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna
Shimon-
do that. But
Shimon,
I
if
thought
you're
you were gonna
watching
make
us-
fun. Yeah, I thought you were gonna make fun of the fact that I didn't do computer science. I was like, okay, don't make fun of me.
No,
for
not at
that.
all. Like it's pretty like biochemistry. You said
No, biomedical engineering. Yeah.
it's pretty impressive, man.
No, it was basically like I didn't know whether I wanted to do medicine or like engineering, so I did like this degree that was this mashup of both that didn't really like teach you like anything that was useful that I could get a job with. So then I ended up in computer science, basically.
Actually, the reason we should make fun of you is that you don't work in this like very sexy field that saves lives and like
Yep.
actually improves the world. You
Yeah,
work in a field that is me, Ola, and you just like making apps for people.
Yeah,
That's-
TV apps specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that people can waste their time in front of TVs instead of saving
Yeah, could have
lives.
been saving lives. I know.
You could have been saving lives. Yeah. Well,
Well, yep. So that's our developer
I feel-
background covered.
I feel that us making TV apps is actually saving the world a little bit because it's much more difficult to push propaganda on stuff like HBO and Netflix than it is on like, public TV. On public TV, they just push whatever they want on you. But you can go to Netflix and choose what you want to watch. So we are saving the world.
Is it really the case?
I don't
That's
think
what
the
I tell
doctors-
myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think the doctors will agree, but the good thing we're not live streaming to doctors, so
Yeah.
I watched this new TV series from the guy that made Yellowstone, and his new TV series is called Landman. And there is this rant in Landman about like green energy and blah blah blah. So it's completely wrong, this like explanation that green energy is not green at all. And then I watched an hour YouTube video explaining how the Landman is wrong about this. And then I saw the exact propaganda on Twitter and other platforms, including that clip from Landman saying that you shouldn't like do windmills and all because blah 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 arguments.
It's
Fun
crazy.
fun
It's
lives.
crazy.
Should we do technology and React Native now?
Yes. Should we give everyone a little intro on like what if maybe someone hasn't seen the survey? So
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
State of React Native survey. I think it came out 3 years ago. And I think it was the baby of Bart from Software Mansion, and it's really helpful. I feel like it's awesome, like to see like the trends of the React Native industry. Like I definitely use it a lot. Like when I want to argue a point, I'm just like, yeah, but look, 3,000 other people say so as well. So, yeah, I think it's an awesome initiative. So should we dive in?
Yeah, exactly.
And 2 weeks ago, like what Łukasz said that we looked at, 2 weeks ago we looked at the state of React. So that's also like a good pulse check, what the community is doing, what's interesting, what's annoying. So I'm also
Yeah.
very happy that these surveys exist.
I just like that it validates how I feel. I'm like, this is, this is good.
Yeah, it's good. So we established that some of the answers are from Łukasz, and we can like now establish that the rest of the answers are from you.
we can disregard the answers from me. What I like about this kind of service is that they're really, really broad, and like the things you see in your everyday life from like new newsletters and Twitter, they might be focused on more like new stuff and sexy stuff, and not like this minute pain points of everyday development, really.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's what I felt also from the React survey, because I felt like so people are talking about state management libraries. If you look on Twitter or whatever, it's like Legend State and Zustand and yay. But in this survey, it's like people are using Redux.
Yeah, everyone is just using Redux. Maybe not everyone.
But a lot of people are using Redux.
I think it was 2/3, something like that,
it was
70%.
Oh, in React, okay.
In React, yeah.
Really interesting actually to see like how the React survey differs to the React Native one as well. So maybe we should pull up you guys did it, but like just side by side comparison for like some of the things like libraries. We could have a look.
Yeah.
We can. I just want to like do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's awareness. Where is usage? Pain points. Okay. Okay. Usage.
Huge.
Yeah,
It's a
that
huge
might
survey.
be usage.
So use state, and then Redux is 80%.
Yeah.
It used to be. Sorry, it's now 77. So
Yeah.
3/4.
We can keep it in mind for that section.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it open. So let's go. Developer background. Do we want to cover this, or should we start with technicals first?
We can cover it because I actually wrote the opinion for this one.
Let's start from the bottom then.
I think it's a little bit higher up. No, I think if you go a bit higher, yeah, there we go. I could.
Do you care to read it live?
No, I'm gonna read it live. I think like the main sentiment was the fact that like there's a lot more out of tree platforms that are being used. So, we're looking at using React Native not just for mobile anymore, but for like TV, for Vision OS, for desktop. And I think my opinion is that we're only seeing the beginning of universal React solutions, and like with React Strict DOM and Expo Router, I reckon like we will see more of the React developers maybe moving, because right now it's like 60% came from a React background. Maybe it'll be more because it might be easier to build in React Native as a React developer. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think you wrote a really long opinion here.
For me, you made me think like you made a very good point about React Native being more present in different like out of tree platforms.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting point, and it seems to me like it made me think that maybe like people who are not from React are gonna just jump because they want to do IoT with React Native, and they're just gonna go straight up. I know we talked once about people trying to learn React Native without learning like JavaScript and React, and we asked them not to. But now I'm wondering
really
if
how
yeah,
how
because
can you do it?
I mean, because I saw posts on Reddit, people saying, I'm trying to learn React Native and I don't know React, I don't know JavaScript, and, I don't like it, this is stupid. So my feelings were like, just go and learn JavaScript first. But maybe learning React won't be that necessary anymore. That's interesting. I'm curious what's going to happen.
I don't know if it's true. I mean, I don't know if you can get away with like not learning React though. I mean, even with
No,
the out of
like,
tree platforms, like
it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I think more so like maybe we'll see more developers coming from React, like because it's easier now, right? Like it's closer to React, like with even the, I guess, like universal React solutions. So, or more so like you can
Oh,
build in
you mean
you could build in like React Native and target web more easily than you could before.
Yeah.
so you
definitely.
mean like export outer specifically? People
Yeah.
coming from the web because like the navigation pattern is similar.
Yeah, or like maybe you can now have the same app running on React Native and web that works better is what I think like my thoughts were.
So like you
Yeah.
were saying, the like most people are coming from React
Yeah.
background,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
from
Makes sense.
front-end developer background other than React,
Yep.
Still makes sense.
then back-end developer doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, that's the full stack developers. That's the people you see in the
Yeah.
memes that like they play the orchestra, everything, and then they
Uh-huh.
are very frustrated and tired.
Started with React Native. I want to see more
That's the
people
crazy
here
part.
actually.
You want
I-
to see more people here?
Yeah, definitely. Like you don't have to know, like you don't have to have any other background to start with React Native. You can just like create Expo app and start with either router or not router and just like add new pieces to it, like using AI and using everything else. And you can have a working application in like 2 days.
Okay,
And
you can, but should you? I
Well,
mean,
you will learn React on the job. It's
I
just
mean,
gonna be
for me-
React Native than React.
I guess for me, it depends on what you mean by like React background. For me, if somebody wants to do React Native app, they should at least like go through the documentation for React just to get the basics. Because you're gonna make so many mistakes if you don't like the React Native documentation focuses on React Native, on building the apps, and it doesn't talk that much about like the life cycle events and crap
Well,
like that.
I-
And you need to go back to React docs to learn about
I
that.
don't differentiate between like React as a meta language for React Web and React Native. That's the part that's stable. What it says here is that React developer means in this sense web developer with React, because like
Yeah.
it says here front-end developer adding the React.
Yeah.
So React here means React for web developer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's maybe more intimidating. Like, I don't know. Like, I would say like there are, I guess, a lot more nuances with React Native than like maybe with React, or
I
it
mean,
might be
yeah, there
hard
are-
to get set up. Like, you need to install like Android Studio, like Xcode.
Well, you don't have to. Like
maybe-
with
Expo,
Expo, you don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
And I would argue it is easier to create Expo app than it is to create web app with React.
But okay, if you imagine that you're just starting out, you're like, I don't know, you're a high school graduate and you have an
Yeah.
idea for an app and you land on React Native docs, you use Expo, don't you think you would get very quickly lost in how to use your components and how to compose them and all that
Yeah,
crap
like you
without
still-
doing
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, if you don't look at the React docs.
Sure, meaning I don't disagree that you need to know React in order to create React Native app. Also, you need to know React in order to create React web app. What I'm saying is the React part is obligatory, and then it's easier, in my opinion, to create React Native app with Expo rather than creating... maybe Next.js app is gonna be just as easy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't know, but like it's become just as easy to use Expo as it is to use Next.js.
That's actually a very interesting comparison, because if somebody starts out with Next, they just like have an idea for a website and they go to the Next documentation, they build their app with Next. They're sort of going to fall into the same traps if they don't know anything about React. They will also
you
get
have
lost.
to.
But if you imagine a person that didn't do any React, right, and they just jump into Next, they will be able to set up their website, but they will quickly like get lost.
For me, what's scary in website is styling, because I don't know web styling at all, and like it scares me that my website can be displayed on mobiles and tablets and.
Because you have Android background, right?
I have an Android background, so like.
So you're like in the 13%.
So he's like one of the 429. That one of those is Łukasz.
Yes.
Yes, we found you.
It is. I mean, like I actually was thinking about this as well. Like, what would the journey be like different for someone coming from Android versus like someone coming for React? And what are the different like thought processes you have to go to? Because when you're coming from React, you're used to the React like mental model, but Android and like iOS is so different. So why are there bigger challenges like in coming from there?
What was your biggest challenge, Łukasz, when you were trying to build your first React Native app? When you touched React Native for the first time?
So I had an Android background, and React Native was classes back then, and like JavaScript classes looked quite similar to me, like in comparison to like Java classes. I didn't have any issues. I fell in love instantly, and like I'm in love since then.
Okay, so
like,
Android
honestly,
developers, we invite you. Oh no, actually no, but there's no class components now, so
yeah. We spoke about this a little bit, right? Like the generations of React. Like I wrote an article about this. It's so funny, like because, and now, right? Though with Compose, as an Android developer, you're probably like, oh, actually, React Native is more similar now, as well. So it depends on where you come from in your Android background. Like, was it XML and Views, or is it Compose?
Yeah, it was XML in Views for
me.
It was like 2017 or something.
Yeah, so then like with class components, like it would have been easier. But I guess now with like hooks and functional components, and if you come from Compose, it might be easier. So there's certainly, it is really interesting.
We're still inviting you.
Yeah. If you use Compose, it's very likely much easier though.
Okay, shall we go on to like usage type? Okay, that's not interesting. Professionally.
Yeah.
I remember programming as a hobby years ago. I don't remember how it feels anymore. Do you program as a hobby still?
Yeah, I do. But
okay, what do you do?
I'm very much into InfoSec, so I do like there are websites where you can do exercises, and you get. I love this one website. It's called Hack the Box, and you get to do like attacks, like real attacks. You're spawning a machine, and then you have to run some stuff in the terminal. It's awesome. I love it. It's not really like it's not programming in the sense that it's not creating software, but it's like writing commands and getting your shell on some server. It's nice.
It's like hacking.
Yeah.
So is it this or something else?
That's so cool.
Yeah. What did you ask, Łukasz? Did you hear?
Is it this or something else?
Yeah, it's this.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
they have a free tier. So if anybody, and the second one is Try Hack Me. That they also have a free tier, and it's very fun.
Cool. Anisha, do you hack for fun? Do you code
I feel
for
like
hobby?
I've maybe not like recently. Life has become busy. So I feel like when I was a web developer, I was one of the % that came from React. So I would tinker more because it was, I don't know, I would make my own websites for like random stuff. So it was like that. But then it died. Now I feel like I do things for fun, but then they turn into articles. Like they'll turn into like dev.to articles, like so.
And then you are a developer advocate, so that's part of your work. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it kind of like the hobbies turned into work, which is good.
One digression, you said that life become busy. I follow you on Instagram and you do nothing but travel places for the past half a year or something.
That's because all my
So I have
friends
to
are
run,
getting
open the door. I'm
married.
gonna be right back.
All my friends are getting married. It's a running joke between my colleagues. So yeah, Gio and Moses are here on the call. They can testify that it's basically because I just have lots of weddings to attend. Serial wedding attender is what I am.
Okay. So it, and also that became, you used to do it as a hobby and now it's become your work because you have too many friends.
No. No, I just enjoy attending weddings, you know.
Yeah, they're
And I
fun.
have my own coming up in November, so that's obviously why I'm traveling as well.
Are you
So
inviting all of the 174 listeners right now?
yeah, well, you know what?
Viewers?
Why not come?
Where is it? Like what
in
country?
in Kenya. Like I grew up in Kenya, so yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be Kenya. Should be really nice. So looking forward to it.
Cool. Congrats.
Thank you, thank you.
Top React Native app user count.
Yeah, this was really interesting. Like that.
Yeah?
It's a range, right? Like there is no, like it's completely across the board. Like from like small apps to like completely large apps with 1 million and more. So it was interesting. Like it shows like that you can use React Native to scale.
But like also that we have 30% of people that their top user count for React Native app is only me.
Yeah.
Like 13% of the survey responders don't work even semi-professionally in React Native, which like says something, right, about the community, that they still engaged. They are like learning about React Native and they know about the survey from Software Mention and they still filled in the survey.
I
Guys,
mean,
I'm very sorry to do this, to cut you off, but like I have the family emergency they have to take care of right now. So I'm very sorry, but I'm gonna need to leave you now.
no way.
Yeah, if you
Sorry.
come back in like 3 hours, we'll still be here.
Yeah,
I probably
I'll
will
try.
need, was it refreshment break if we're here for 3 hours?
No, like let's try to like touch
bio
the
break.
Yeah.
bullet points.
Bio break, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
See you.
Thank you,
Have
Ola.
fun. Yeah. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, so yes, exactly. It is interesting that there's a lot of people just use it for themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Then mobile app team side again, like solo developer is like the biggest,
Yeah.
which like also says a lot about the like power of the technology, right? Like you can, I've created apps that I actually maybe not sold, but I was like solo developer on a project and that app like was created in 2 weeks, went to the store, no one ever touched it again. It was like fine for 2 or 3 years. Yeah, okay. Target platforms, Android, iOS, that's fine.
Yeah,
Web
makes
is
sense.
22%. That's
And
great.
I think this was like it was an increase from last year, which is why what I found like quite interesting. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I think we're still at the very beginnings of like this whole universal React story.
Well, I agree that like we are getting there, but I don't agree that we are only at the beginning. Like I've been using React Native for web years ago. Like this like specific library, React Native for web.
Yeah. Let me rephrase. Like we're at the beginning of seeing like the power of being able to use it. Like because React Native for web was the mobile first approach, right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
mobile first.
It is using React Native and then it transpiles the styles into CSS, in the CSS classes under the hood.
But I think like with React Strict DOM, like it's making both, web and React Native priority. So I think that's what I feel like a lot more developers will be more inclined to use React Native, like to target web, because it's gonna have the same kind of performance. It's gonna have the same impact as like just using React Native or just using like React. So
what is like interesting for me is that macOS apps overtook Android TV apps. Like it's like the numbers are small, so like the margin of error is big, but it's still like more popular to write macOS apps in React Native than Android TV apps. Crazy.
And hopefully we can change that.
Yeah, like my vote is here.
Hopefully, you know, we can definitely do. We're trying. Well, I guess me and my team are definitely trying to make it a bit easier. Doug Lauder, the folks at Expo are definitely trying really hard to make TV experience easier. So, I mean, but the folks at Microsoft do a fantastic job with macOS and Windows. So.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that like four of these platforms are even on here and increasing in numbers is positive. Like, I'm really excited.
And yeah, I was going to like, do you know where I can find the? Okay, I know where I can find it. I just need to
last
go-
year's, yeah. I think even if you just change 2024 to 2023 in the URL.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then development background, and then don't have it here.
I think it was there somewhere. Yeah, target platforms. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it used to be. This is different.
I think the
Okay,
numbers,
percentages.
percentages. But I think even if you look at the numbers of people have increased. So
The numbers of people. Okay, so
Yeah.
Android 2289, and here we have 3000. Yes,
Yeah.
they increased, and then
Yeah.
web 530 something, and then 740. Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go further. Main daily platforms. iOS simulator, but Android physical device.
Yeah.
It's funny.
that's like it's also Android had more usage than that's funny. But yeah, probably I don't know.
For Android, what you need to care about is performance. So like Android emulator is too performant sometimes.
Yeah.
And like you need to be able to verify that on your like
on the physical device.
for your user base, your app is actually working as intended. So you usually like have some kind of like older Android phone next to you. Contribution to React Native 230 have some contributions, which is big.
I mean, it
think.
is compared to. I feel like if you look at the one from React, like I think this is bigger. If I'm not wrong, like more people have contributed.
I'm not sure if they have this kind of.
Do they not?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I mean, like even like 230. I mean, the libraries ones, like the fact that 25% of people have contributed to the libraries. I mean, that's phenomenal.
It's also that this particular survey is coming from Software Mention, right?
Yeah.
So like the promotional audience target audience is skewed towards enthusiasts anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a corporate survey for like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would have been different if this was coming from Meta, probably, because it would get to, I don't know, 10x more people, but the percentages for like real enthusiasts would be lower, probably.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still like really good to see that like 25% of people.
Oh yeah.
Like the community is strong with React Native.
So like I didn't contribute to like React Native.
Yeah, me neither.
But
yeah.
like I might have contributed to library.
Yeah, I think
last year or something.
It's also easier, right? Like if you're using React Native, then it's easier to contribute to a library because the libraries are written in React Native, right? It might be harder to contribute to like React Native itself because you probably need to know Android or iOS or
also in order to contribute to React Native, you have to like follow very strict contribution rules on React Native. And then in order to contribute to library, you just do patch package for npm and like you create a PR. It is much easier. Do you want to see the contribution guide for React Native?
Yeah, why not? I have had a look at it. I'm like, it is obviously it's also much bigger repo than some of the libraries, right? So to even get like to terms with like what you're doing, I think it's harder because it is a bigger repo. So if anybody is looking to start contributing to open source, like I do think, I mean, even I myself, like I've started with like a library. So I started with your one of the Costak libraries. It was the testing library.
What a
So,
plug.
yeah, it was React Native testing.
Okay,
library.
why, Anisha, do you think it's gonna be easier to contribute to Callstack libraries?
No, it wasn't specifically because it was a Costak library. It was more the fact that I use testing library and it's easier to write like a test, right? I'm used to writing tests. So, I mean, the library was just a matcher. I mean, the library is just matchers, right? So
Yes,
I
like
understood what I was doing. Whereas I think like when I look at some of the code of React Native, like I don't know what's going on here. So
I think there is a podcast with Michał Pierzchała.
yeah,
I have not been working at Callstack at that time. There is a
Yeah.
podcast with Michał Pierzchała for React Native Radio, which podcast wasn't even under Infinite Red yet. That was like, I don't know, 2020 or 2019 or 18 or something like that. Michał Pierzchała was one of the either creators or maintainers of React Native testing library. And like that podcast is about that, where when he is saying, so we have this concept of testing library for React, what we did is basically create a bunch of matchers, a bunch of helper functions for React Native in order for that concept to be applicable to React Native, which like became a standard for integration in React Native testing.
And I think that's the thing, like when I mean, for anybody who's looking to do open source contributions, like the library is going to be closer to what you're writing every day. So don't be intimidated if like, you are intimidated by React Native, like the repository itself, because you're probably in the same boat as a lot of people.
So contributing overview, thank you for your interest, blah, blah, blah. We aim to build a vibrant, inclusive system. Okay. Open source guide. Okay, so we have a website, open source guide, which is collection for resources. Cool. How to contribute to open source in general, building communities, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Ways to contribute. So you can reply and handling open issues. You can review pull requests. You can help people write tests. But so you can see it here that in ways to contribute, there is nothing about you can write code for us and we can check it and like it's gonna be merged at some point. Like this is not the default way for people to contribute to React Native.
I think that's probably maybe because like I said, like it's harder. So people who want to contribute maybe might feel like it's easier to do like those things, and that's probably more way to get more people like to terms with the repo. I don't know.
Well, like contributing code is its own section.
Yeah.
It's just that like it's not probably for readers of this page, contributing code is not like the first thing that they should be doing. Usually step-by-step guide, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
How to contribute code. Thank you for your interest. Prerequisites.
I think that's, you see, like there's a lot more prerequisites than like being able to do like write
coding
some
style.
tests.
But I also think, you have to like submit the license agreement.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to this.
Yes.
Anisha, do you want to make a pledge with me that we will create our first contribution to real React Native in 2025?
How about
we still have 10 months to go?
How about we pledge to make more open source contributions?
Okay, at least one open source contribution.
At least one open source. I can do that. I
did that already. I did that like 2 days ago. I contributed to some docs.
No, okay. Let's say not docs one.
Not docs. Okay,
not
actual
docs.
code.
I mean, docs. I think it's still really helpful, but let's say we're gonna do it to like some actual code. I mean, I've made like one line PRs to some like libraries. Let's say something substantial. We're gonna find something that's good that we use in our everyday lives and then make.
Okay, let's do a virtual shake on
Okay,
this.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Open source contributions. Oh,
Anybody
now
in
look
the
at this.
comments want to join in? Just say you're joining in on the contribution pledge. So yeah, then we have then we've got released React Native apps count.
Well, I want to read this. Okay, can I read it real fast?
You can.
Looking at the results, they reflect what we are seeing as the evolutionary React Native vision. Learns once, write everywhere. Or write runs, run everywhere. It's exciting to see the predicted increase in the number of developers using React Native to develop.
This was from last year, yeah. So the last year, like the survey results predicted that there would be an increase. I think it was Steven from Microsoft was saying that, and so yeah, that's what I was just trying to say is that like there was like a predicted increase. So yeah.
Released React Native apps count. How many React Native apps have you released publicly? So none. Again, like none is 21%. So 1/5 of all of the responders are not like I don't want to say professional developers. Maybe they like write in some other languages, but they are not like using React Native for production, which is strange.
Yeah, maybe it's like the hobbyists. Who knows? But I think like what's cool is like people are using it for more than one app. Like people are coming back. People are coming back to using React Native. Like there's 2 to 5 people. I mean, sorry, 2 to 5 is like the biggest percentage, right? So it's not like
which is not that much anyway, as well.
True, but like I guess
what's your count?
How many React Native apps have I built? Like, are we talking about production level apps? Oh
yeah, like
this is released publicly. One.
You worked on one project that is like public only?
Yeah, because that was when I was doing like development full time. Like as a developer advocate, like I don't release apps publicly on the App Store. So yeah, the one I did release was for BP to like charge your car. So yeah, if you ever have an electric car that you charge it, that was me.
Sorry, I need to reply to someone, and you can this is like you can just talk about Target Mobile OS, and like I will just reply to someone. Again,
the Target Mobile OS. I mean, you've left me on a very bad page. I think you need to just scroll, like, because this is we're just saying that people target
like developer version. Background and demographics are like the most boring parts of this.
And we've already spent about half an hour, 45 minutes on this. So.
That's why I was saying at the beginning, should we start from technology? And you said, but my comment is here on this page.
Yeah, but I didn't expect us to spend half an hour on it. Anyway,
I know. It's always
demographics was pretty much like, people, diverse range of backgrounds, not enough women, I would say. Again, problem with like the tech sector in general.
Okay. So let's leave demographics. Country. Okay, so most from US, and then only 98 from Poland, which is underwhelming because Software Mention is from Poland. And like they have, I don't know, like 200 developers probably. Callstack has around 200 developers as well. So this should be at least 400 people replying to this.
But I think not a lot of people finish this section of their survey. So that's also why. Like I think there was a large number who just didn't fill in this part of the survey. So should we move on
Platform
to
APIs?
Platform APIs,
What APIs do you use in your React Native apps? And then, so we have like few things here. You have the actual usage, which is like this number below. And then you have positive experience and negative experience. Oh, neutral experience.
Neutral, So.
And then negative experience, and then. Okay.
And I think this is Oh, sorry. Go on. You go on.
Yeah, like when I see that 2/3 of the apps actually use camera, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's honestly a lot.
it's interesting, like for sure. And I think, I mean, yeah, like that is a lot. Or
Like
is
I
it
would think like
two-thirds?
permissions are much more needed for your production app than camera. Camera is like feature specific. Permissions are just like a way of doing React Native apps or mobile apps.
Maybe it's like QR codes, and I don't know. I mean, what is that percentage of people who responded, or
So that's
what
like
is that?
65
Wow, yeah, that is
responders used
crazy.
it.
That is crazy. That's a very large number. I mean, yeah, guys, what apps are they
What's going
building
on?
that like everybody needs the camera? I mean, the other ones make sense, like I think, and I mean the pain points make sense that like people, yeah, have had like a negative experience using deep links. Fair enough. Same with like web views, more bugs, harder to debug, I would say.
Notifications, permissions, deep links, persistent storage, like all of what's appearance? Oh, okay.
Dark
Dark
mode,
mode
light
and light
mode,
mode.
yeah.
Web
Yeah.
view, file system, location, media. Okay, so like all of those are like
Yeah.
not really needed all the time, but I would argue that camera is also like one of those. But
Interesting.
okay.
It's interesting, yeah. Should we check out the pain points?
Yeah, let's do that. Pay points. Notifications are pain, but what's encouraging is not that it's not that many at the top, right? So like the most hated, let's say, feature has only 71 responders saying that they have some issues with it. That's not that much comparing to notifications being used by 1,700 people, which means that what's that? So 7 out of 170 is 4%. Not that many. So we don't have to like, it's not a pain point if it only happens to 4% of the people. What do you think?
What pain points have you encountered? I think this is like the number of comments about that pain point. Yeah, so
No
this is-
built-in notification support.
So I think this is the number of people that, I don't know, like that use notifications that commented that they have pain points. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone's pain point about notifications is just
Well, I
notifications.
agree with some of them. Notifications are not easy to do like in a unified way. And also, so if you use Android on a daily basis, you don't know how notifications look like on iOS and the other way around.
Yeah.
So for iOS, I have this like banking apps that don't allow me to disable notifications for like a category for notifications.
Yeah.
So I have to look at their notifications for like promotions and stuff in order to see notifications about like really important like bank transfers.
Yeah.
On Android, this is like built in by default. You have categories of notifications by default.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think like, yeah, I mean, I think this is probably, like you said, one of the it's hard to test as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's go to libraries. Libraries, experience and sentiment. Okay, so we have sorted by used it, so usage.
Yeah.
And then we have sentiment is at the bottom here. So positive okay. Well, let's talk about usage. So inline styling. I love it. I consider it one of the like superpowers of React Native. Like I can write styles inline. That's great.
You know, I don't like writing styles inline. I really like having them separate because I feel like it looks neater. I don't know. Personal opinion.
You can use AI to like extract the styles from inline.
No, I know, but I think
sheets.
like I prefer having it in a style sheet than inline, just because it looks neater. Like, so I always remove them from inline. So maybe I'm
like at some point. But then if you want to debug, do you want to like style sheet create text background red, or do you just do text style background red?
true. Yeah, I guess that's true. Like for quick things, like it's easier for sure.
And then once it's done, then you make it nicer, I guess.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, React built-ins. What's that?
Oh, hooks.
No, the most basic primitives for remembering the state of React component. So like use state or what?
Yeah, so like hooks, right? No, like I think that's what it's talking about.
I don't know. Let's look. Hooks, yeah.
Yeah, hooks. Yeah. I was like, I'm not going crazy. Hooks.
Okay, fetch
just call it
API,
hooks.
style sheet, React Native reanimated. Woohoo! They have this for. So this survey is created by Software Mention.
Yeah.
And they have this nice pun when like someone at the conference or like in the blog post says something about reanimated or Software Mention. They say software mentioned.
Oh, nice. Software Mention.
That's such a nice way. That's such a nice name. And
Software
so React Native reanimated, great library, and like platforms. Is it considered a platform API? But if Axios is here, I guess React Native reanimated is here as well. Export router. You were talking about this.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think like if you are using Expo, you'd most likely go with Expo Router. If you're using vanilla React Native, like you'd probably go with React Navigation. So I think this makes sense. Like, probably shows like there's a lot of people who still do use vanilla React Native. I don't know.
I
Like,
guess
would you
when-
use? Would you use? I mean, you wouldn't. Would there be a reason for you to use Expo Router like without using Expo? I don't know.
don't think you can.
Yeah,
Can you?
I don't know. I don't think so either.
We
Which
can
means
check.
like it makes sense why there's more people using React Navigation like versus Expo Router.
Well, like for Expo router, you need a bundler from Expo.
Yeah, so
To,
then
like-
you have to use Expo.
Yeah. So you have to use Expo for Expo
Yeah.
router. That's best to my knowledge. But then like the funny thing is that as far as I know, you don't get Expo router if you do this.
No, I think you have to like specify like with router.
Specify that you want with router,
You use it with router, yeah. So which makes sense. Like I mean, it's awesome that they do give people the choice. Like you can still use React Navigation if you want to.
Okay, let's go back. But it's still a bunch of people using Expo router,
Yep.
24%, even though it's not like the default.
Yeah.
There is no default way of navigating in React Native, let's be honest. But like React Navigation was the default way
Yeah.
For a lot of people for over the years. And like Expo router came out like 2 years ago with beta.
Yeah.
And over the 2 years, they gathered 24% of used it.
But it's because it does make it's a closer to the web experience, like with the file-based navigation. So I can see why people are picking up on it, like more.
The documentation is lacking, probably a skill issue, but the learning curve is really steep coming from React Navigation.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Because it's file-based.
Exactly. It's closer
different
to
paradigm.
Yep. It is. That's what I'm saying. Like it's closer to the web experience than React
Yeah.
Navigation. So you would more likely use it if you came from React, and maybe you would use React Navigation if you came from like Android, iOS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. React Native screens, 18% of respondents answered used it, And I think this is not correct. I think everyone that is using React Navigation is actually using React Native Screeners as well. And then everyone that is using Reanimated is using screens? No? No, Reanimated is probably only gesture handler under the hood, not screens. Screens is needed for React Navigation and Export Outer. Okay, and then like some other libraries. Should we go
Yeah.
on?
I think let's maybe we can go on to state management.
What about the changes over time? Oh, this is
I
complicated.
found this very hard to read. So that's why I was like, maybe
Well, I lost it.
if you scroll down. Oh,
Where am I?
platform APIs, pain points.
Okay, libraries. We were in the libraries, and then retention changes over time. Oh, okay, because it's interactive. Cool. So, rising popularity is green. Inline styling is rising in popularity. Which is stupid because AI tools, they just do style sheets for you anyway.
Yeah.
And then export outer is rising. Tanstack
Yeah.
query, obviously, Zustand. And then some other things as well. What is dropping the most? React Navigation.
Yeah, which is what I'm saying. Like that, it does make a lot of sense. Like that's quite expected. Interesting. What else?
Animated API dropping
Yeah,
in
because
popularity.
of reanimation.
Styled components.
Reanimated, not reanimation. Yeah, style components.
Reanimated, yeah.
Yeah, reanimated.
React Native Paper is dropping in popularity as well. I saw
so when we go to when we look at the UI
component
library,
libraries.
yes, you'll see what, like, I think
Everything
there's a really
is.
good, everything is. It's not just paper.
Yeah.
Should we move on to
Okay, let's
state
go
management?
to state management.
Yeah. So this was really, I love that Zustand is like increasing so much every year.
Yeah.
I love the library. It's so easy to use. I mean, like, it is so close to like React's mental model, which I feel like is why people like it. And then
Yeah. I've never used Zustand, honestly. Like maybe I played around with it a little bit, but not like extensively. I know it's
Yeah.
out there, but for like clients projects and production projects, you use whatever it's there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is like
Most
most of the
likely
project
Redux.
is Redux.
Yeah. But I feel like for when you're starting a new project, and I think there's more people who are trying like the kind of like lower size, low bundle, less massive libraries, I would say.
Mhm.
And I think like Zustand, like, it's so close to the React mental model because it's like Redux, so that's why people like it. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
We have
Maybe
a comment
online
from
styling is rising in PUBG because of dynamic styling. I don't get it.
well, you can do dynamic with style sheets as well. Styling, right?
Oh,
Well,
inline. Maybe
is when
inline.
you have the
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
inline is when you have like brackets, background color, colon black or something. When you like write your styles inline. I don't think you need to do that for dynamic stylings. But like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. And then, so state management experience and sentiment. So, yeah, this is like hooks. I mean, obviously people use hooks a lot. I find it's that the negative sentiment for Redux is, it's sad.
But it's also not that lot.
Oh, okay. Look, this time they've Redux and Redux Toolkit have been separated, so that does make sense, I think.
Yeah, and like this is the same here.
Yeah, was it already separated?
Yeah, no, not State of React Native. I wanted to go to State of React. So State of React, what is it? Features, libraries, state management. So it's the same story.
Yeah.
The Zustand is going up,
Yeah.
and then sentiment, where is the positivity? Positivity is, which one is Redux? Like 30%.
Hmm.
And here is, so 18% have like negative sentiment around it.
Yeah.
Just not that much, honestly. For
And I mean, like,
Redux?
yeah, because for I think this, like, it's good that Redux Toolkit though is increasing as well. Like, people should be using Redux Toolkit, so makes sense. And then, there's a lot of negative sentiment for, well, I guess not a lot, but like
For
for
MobX?
Mobox.
I don't know
What
why.
are the comments? Yeah.
Unfortunately, my entire team did not adapt to the philosophy of MobX. It's not a philosophy.
It's a library.
It's a library with
uh,
proxy. We
too
prefer to adopt a similar
complicated.
solution. It doesn't and won't support React compiler. Ooh.
We'll have to ask Jamon about this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why would, like, I don't know, but
Okay.
this is an interesting question. If React compiler has anything to do with state management and how you write it.
Well, I think like it would, yeah. I mean,
So I think what happens is, like, and I can be wrong because this is live stream and I have not prepared this, but what I think is happening is that MobX is maybe taking control over what is getting rendered, because you wrap components in like MobX higher order components, and then MobX will bypass React in like saying which components are rendered and which are not, which might be different philosophy to something like selectors from Redux. I don't know, like.
Ola would have been useful for this section.
Yes, Ola, where are you?
So we have a comment. So at our company, we migrated. Do you want to put it on screen? Sorry, Łukasz.
Yes, and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT for something.
Yeah, so we migrated from Redux to Zustand because I completely agree. It's really simple and easy to use. I think I like I said, like, I mean, I did do a comparison of like the different libraries in terms of like why you would use each one. So I can share that article as well. But I think like with Redux Toolkit, it's like if you have a large amount of state that are needed in like many places in the app, it would make sense. But for smaller apps like that don't have, state needing to be updated in many different places, I think that stands like a great solution. And then there's also like Jotai Valtio. Like Jotai is really good for like when you have lots of components in your app, and Valtio for like lots of data in your app. So I think there's many reasons to pick a library. So I did a deep dive on this and it was interesting to see the different reasons.
Do you want to like put that article?
Yeah, let me put that
in the
let
comments?
me do that. Yeah.
And when you search for that, I ask ChatGPT, let's say, about that MobX and React compiler, and it is basically what I was saying. The first reason is observer pattern. MobX relies heavily on its observer higher order component to wrap React components for reactivity. This pattern is not optimized for React compiler, which skips components tagged with observer. Yeah. And the second is, again, what I was saying. Optimization conflicts. The React compiler aims to optimize components rendering, but MobX already provides its own optimization mechanism. This creates a conflict in how updates and re-renders are managed. And for MobX state tree, which you alluded to saying we should ask Jamon. Jamon is, I think, maintainer of MobX state tree. So it says developers are creating a React hook that implements the observer behavior, which could potentially work with the React compiler. Okay. So the work is ongoing according to AI.
My YouTube account has posted my upcoming podcasts handle instead of my own, but that's me. That's me.
Oh, hair code stories. That's you. Okay.
Yeah, coming soon.
Okay. So that's state management. Blah blah blah, and then other state solutions. Stack query.
About your
Last week we did the CRA deprecation live stream. Me and Shimon, we were like playing around with different alternatives to create React app, and we were checking out the library from Jack Harrington,
yeah.
which is create Tanstack router app. It's great. It was such a pleasant experience using this. Tanstack is great across the board. State management pain point, synchronization issues. What's that? What is synchronization issue? So no backend sync, synchronizing global state, being async, persisting or dehydrating data. Is there like, is it synchronization issue would be a problem that is solved by query libraries? So Tanstack query and Redux Toolkit query?
Yeah, I don't know enough. All I would have been.
Should we just skip state management then?
Yes,
Yeah, let's do
I was
that.
actually going to suggest, like, what do you think about doing this as 2 parts, and then we come back with Ola and continue from state management? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I don't know. Like, it's not really that. So we don't have to do like 5 hours. Don't worry about that. Let's just try to do 1 hour and a half too. Let's
Sounds
try
good.
to like, because like even when we were filling this in, it took a lot of time because like
Yeah.
there is a bunch of stuff here. I'm not sure if like on the live stream, on the actual live stream, we can say something that is not opinion, that is something that we really researched and is fact-based. And like in this kind of survey, what we actually could do is to just feed it all into AI
I mean, like, give us your opinions.
and like give us some like fun opinions about that.
So, data fetching.
Data fetching, yeah. Let's try to export data. Can I export data for all this page or not?
Yeah, but if we do that, Lucas, then people are just getting. Why they want to hear our opinions?
I don't know. Like, so when we started doing this live streaming,
Yeah.
my assumption is let's not prepare and let's do something like low effort and like just try to have some fun. And like this is what I would do. Like if I'm preparing for a podcast or something, I'm taking this day. I read it carefully. I take this data and I try to like slice it up.
Yeah.
So tell me something about this data set from state of React Native. Okay. We tried doing that on the previous live stream as well, and it didn't do well.
Yeah.
Data fetching, so popular libraries, emerging trends. Well, the data suggests a preference for simpler, more flexible solution like Fetch API and Axios, while specialized libraries like Tanstack Query are gaining traction for more complex data management needs. Okay, this is not really saying that much, but like we saw that on the state management as well, right? Like our opinion was, like your opinion was, we need something simpler. We need Jotai, we need Zustand.
Yeah.
They're gaining popularity because they're much simpler to use and like more
Yeah.
pinpointed.
And I think
that's
that. Tanstack's probably gaining popularity because of like the fact that it's for async state management. So, and if the problems are synchronization, it kind of makes sense, which, makes sense.
And at the top here is Fetch API and then Axios.
Quite
which
close
is
though. I don't know. I mean, I don't ever know why you'd pick one over the other. I just pick
so
Axios
Axios is just more powerful solution, has more options, and was there from the beginning.
Yeah, so I would
Fetch
just pick
API
Axios
is
because
not like was not supported natively a few years ago.
Yeah.
So
I just
probably that's
default
why.
to Axios, like because of the fact that I've always used it.
So why use Axios versus Fetch or the other way around? I should have said also that write something really simple that I can read on the live stream.
That's okay. Maybe we can go through while it's like thinking. So,
let's let it think. So that's fetching sentiment.
Positive sentiments all around.
So positive. What's not to like? Axios. Axios may be sometimes quite hard to
You mean
configure.
Apollo client?
Yeah, sorry, not Axios. Apollo client. Yeah, GraphQL.
Yeah, GraphQL. Yeah, I agree. I mean, but the thing is, it depends on what your like need is, right? I mean, they do very different things as well. Like I would say, like you can't really compare Axios and Fetch to like an Apollo client. They're quite different.
They are different because they serve two different like
purposes.
I was going to say paradigms, right?
Yeah, fair. Okay, purposes. Yeah, paradigms. Yeah.
GraphQL is abomination and should have never left the lab.
Oh gosh.
What do you think? I think we touched on this on the previous live stream as well. What do you think about GraphQL? Like it was pretty sexy 5 years ago. Everyone was talking about it. I've spent some time like learning it and like going to the workshops and stuff like that. Over the past like 2 or 3 years, I have not been hearing about GraphQL at all.
I haven't heard of it since I left the web world, so I can't really comment. I used it. I did use it. Like most of our projects, we use GraphQL. But since leaving React, I've not actually used GraphQL, so I don't know.
Okay. So and also like
there's
in experience. So we have Fetch, Axios, Tanstack.
Yeah.
Again, talking from experience, we moved from RTK query because it's bloated or Redux state.
It's true. I mean, if you're using Tanstack and like just that, like, why would you? Yeah, you wouldn't need like then an Apollo client, would you?
Well, yeah, but he's not talking about a client. He's talking about RTK query.
Oh, my brain.
Yeah, it's quite late. What time is it in London right now?
It is 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Dinner time.
Let's do 30 more minutes. Let's close up the important topics and then we will just go. So like we can see it here that Fetch is REST.
Yeah.
Axios is REST. Tanstack query is REST as well.
Yeah.
Apollo client is GraphQL, so only on fourth place is GraphQL, and then we have REST. Okay. Navigation. What navigation solution do you use in your React Native apps? And like here we can see that drop for React navigation. Do you know what I don't like about Export Router? I mean, I love it as a new sexy thing and as a thing that can bring us closer to the web world. Like I'm all for it, and like I hope that like this will become just a go-to solution and that we'll just start using this pattern. What I don't like about it is that it doesn't give enough love to React navigation. I like it is using this under the hood and like yeah. But credit where it's due.
Where it's due, like, yeah, I think, yeah, for
Export
sure.
outer is great.
It is, and I mean with like V3, I think it offers you like something that React navigation doesn't, right? So
How is React Native Screens a navigation library? It's not, is it?
I don't know.
Can I click on it? No.
No.
React Native Screens. Okay, here. React navigation primitives for your React Native app. Use directly in React Navigation and export outer libraries.
I know what
This I know,
Yeah,
but
okay,
it's not
so-
navigation library. It's like native wrappers
yeah,
for screens.
yeah. Well, the sentiments are positive, like not much negative sentiment for any of them, really.
Yeah, what not to like? You can navigate
Yeah.
in your app.
Yeah. What about
Solito.
Solito is for, again, like it's a universal
Yeah.
React app like navigation library, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's cool because like you can use it with Next.js.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it is around navigation and
Yeah.
Next.js. Sure. It's quite late. Navigation pain points. So
I think this is like
freeform.
the comments. Yeah, like what are the docs?
Stacks are less explicit, not so friendly to render.
Complex. I think like
It's just the learning curve, right? It's just that we are not used to it.
Yeah, I think like again, like this is probably coming from the people who are used to React navigation because it is a big like jump to move from stack navigation to file-based navigation.
And also like React navigation, if you look at it like from like usage way, is really, you need to be intentional about it, like imperative almost. And export outer with file-based navigation feels more reacty in a way, you know, like you use links and you use deep linking out of the box. So deep links are one of the pain points. Deep linking. Excessive complexity. I don't know. Stats.
I think your cat is hungry.
Well, my wife is there as well. I can go and check.
No.
You know what? I need to give him his like fast food or something. Maybe then he will shut up.
So 5. Okay, let's move on. Should we move on to styling?
Yeah. Well, what about this filed base?
I think that might just be a typo.
It's probably typo.
Yeah, file-based.
But what is it? A navigation pattern, blah, blah, blah. So how many people used it? 22%. Very similar to export outer, right?
Yeah. I feel like, isn't this just talking about the like export router? Or am I reading into this wrong?
Well, it is export outer, but also Next, maybe? Or Solito? I don't know. Styling. Yeah, let's do styling now. So styling ratios over time. Ooh. So StyleSheet API was overtook by inline styling. So do you know that at some point in React Native docs, when you go to style sheet, it used to say, I think, that you should be using style sheet because this is like performance optimization or something.
Okay.
And that your inline styles can have some performance hit. But I don't know where it was.
I don't know. In prod, like, in production level apps, I would always, just for like, also, I guess if you got a larger app, I find like the style sheet's easier to read. But I get like why inline styles might just be, easier.
Do you want to know the Axios versus Fetch?
Sure, we might not.
Automatic JSON parsing, built-in error handling, request response interceptors. Oh, I use this. I definitely use this. I remember big Axios interceptors files where we like do redirects and we do like refetches or something. I'm not sure how to do that with Fetch. Probably you can.
Maybe, yeah.
Reasons to use Fetch: native API, lightweight, definitely, flexibility,
I guess if
more
you don't,
low-level control.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, cool. I need to look at my doc. Okay, I will be right back.
Sure. I was going to say, like I don't mind as well. We could do part 2 of this series. I don't know if people want to be on a call for 2 hours. So
Well, like we have people watching us.
okay, yeah, I can see that. Whoever's still watching, let us know if you want part 2 or if you want to keep going.
I will be right back.
Yeah.
And you can, if you want to load your styles from a hook or a global context, then inline style become a necessity. Well, yeah, but it's not really the question. So obviously you need to change something inline in order to like change the style. But what's inline styling refers to is that you apply your styles like directly here, like more or less or all the time, not on the conditions where you have to do that.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Sure.
Give us your thoughts.
I was going to say, like, style. Looking at the other one, style components. So I think, I mean, all of these make sense. Like maybe AI has something to do with it. Like maybe because when you use AI, it does give you. Does it give you your styles in inline or in style sheet? Now Lucas has his open, so we can't check that. So people in the comments, what are your thoughts? Which one do you use? Are you one of the 2163 or 2157? Hello.
I'm here.
Yeah. Should we move on to graphics and animations?
Yeah, let's do that. Style, experience, and sentiment, blah, blah, graphics, animations. Reanimated, steady growth. Cool. Then animated API, steady decline. And are there anything else? Like Lottie? Lottie doesn't feel like it's on the same level as animated and reanimated. Lottie is completely different tool. You have to create your animations in an external, I don't know, tool and then import it into your project. So like it's not on the, I get why it's here because like it's animation library, but it's not the same kind of like workflow tool. And then the next one on the scale is Skia, which is on the same level as reanimated because like you write those animations directly in your code base. And I'm surprised that it has 31%. That's a lot. Right? Have you used Skia?
I've not used Skia, no.
Me neither.
I think like it depends, right, as well, right? If performance is it depends on your need as well for the animations. Like when we're building TV apps, like you kind of avoid animations because of performance. But if we do I usually tend to go for reanimated.
Okay. And then like the next one is 3JS and 3JS? What's that? Okay, so that's Skia and that's Moti. Okay. I've heard about Moti. Yeah, it's like, I think it's a library of like those primitives, and it is built on Reanimated anyway. Moti is universal animation package for React Native made with Fernando Rojo.
He made Solito.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like
Yeah.
Moti is built on top of Reanimated, and you have this like primitives that allows you to use a little bit different, easier API.
So again, like, I mean, this is what you see, like, we're seeing only the start of all these like universal React app solutions, which is
And okay, so
like write once, animate anywhere. Yeah.
and I actually missed that. I thought that this is just a wrapper around Reanimated,
it means that you can use it for like web as well.
and you can use it for a web as well.
Yeah,
That's great.
which is cool. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's what the motivation for using like Solito would be as well. But now, actually, I don't know. I mean, because with Expo V3, like, it does the same thing. So
with Expo V3 or with like
Expo
Reanimated?
Router V3.
Okay, per hour.
Going back to the navigation, like,
Yeah.
why would you use one over the other?
Well, Solito is based on Next.js, and Expo Router is based on Expo.
On Expo, yeah. But I guess like, but like depending on what your usage would be for, like, if for the universal story, I would say.
I think this is like a question: where are you coming from?
Yeah.
Where is your biggest user base? Is it on mobile or is it on web? If it's on web, then you'd use Next.js and transition to mobile using something like Solito maybe. And then if it's on mobile and you want to extend to web, probably you will just use Expo Router, or you would use Next and mix the two somehow. Graphics and animation. Okay, so Moti. And let's just read this.
Yeah.
Vadim is great. He has this YouTube channel, and like he's making a lot of very in-depth videos. 2024 has been a big year for graphics and animations. Reanimated 4, that's a new one. Introduce CSS compatible animations and transitions. Yes. Exciting to see React Native Skia continue gaining adoptions. Yes, definitely. I predict that 2025 will be huge for 3D graphics in React Native. Probably not. What's your opinion, Anisha, about this?
I think the space that I work in, 3D graphics, is just not an option. TV devices and 3D graphics, I don't know if, like, with the performance constraints, like, I don't see it happening.
I know that Mario, you know Mario from Callstack.
Yes.
He was cooking something around like 3Ds and like 3JS and all of that for React Native. So like there is some development there, definitely. And like 3JS, and we have a podcast episode about it, blah, blah, blah. But also like I don't see that 2025 will be huge for it. It's just going to be some like incremental... there was a meetup, React Native Learning meetup, where someone was also talking about a library for 3D animations, and it was using fiber something. Like 3JS, 3Fiber.
Yes, 3Fiber, was that what it's called? Yeah, React 3Fiber. Yeah, it was a really interesting talk. I mean, I think it depended, like, if I don't know how, I mean, I haven't used it, so I can't comment on the performance, but like my immediate thought would be that like it would obviously cause, like, it's using resources. So I don't know. That's my first thoughts when I think about 3D. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's not the first thing that you see in your head when you talk about React and React Native. Like React and React Native is like UI library. It's not a very visual heavy kind of thing. Okay, let's go on to component libraries, which we already alluded to, and all of them are dropping in popularity.
I really like the comment from Jamon. If you scroll down, like, he summarizes it really well. Like, it's Miha. sorry, there was another. It was probably on the another one, but yeah, Miha.
Is it J
No,
Monkey?
I think it was a different page then. Like, but yeah, Miha's comment was really good.
So Michał's comment is, almost all major component libraries have experienced a decline in usage, continuing the broader trend observed last year. Interest analysis reveals a downward trajectory all across the board, with developers complaining mostly about performance and maintenance. Interestingly, while awareness of these libraries remains strong, it doesn't seem to translate into actual usage. This suggests that developers are increasingly opting for alternative approaches. A closer look at the styling category reveals the solutions like Native Wind and inline styling are growing even faster than last year. This considers a shift in how developers approach UI development in React Native apps, moved away from pure UI kits in favor of more flexible, web-inspired styling solutions. Maybe it's a sign of maturing ecosystem where teams adopting React Native eventually gravitate towards custom libraries tailored to their apps. I agree with this. Like, I was talking with Michał while he was writing it. But my take is AI. When I create projects in AI, like it just does the styling on its own.
Oh, sorry.
Are you guys reading comments? Sometimes, but I think you were just like going back and forth in your own conversations that we didn't want to interrupt. What do you want to like, Nature Square? What do you want to like talk about with us?
Yeah, so the decline in like usage, yeah, you're right. I think maybe the fact that like inline styling is also on maybe it's all related. Because they mentioned that yes, like when you use Copilot, it also gives you inline styles. So
yeah, and then you can just like it would create your like team and it will just follow the same team. You don't have to have like component library. You will just use your own component.
And it's true. Like, I mean, it's much easier now to style your components because you don't have to write it all yourself, right? So previously, I mean, like the reason you'd use a component library is we don't want to style things, but like you could describe it exactly how you want. And then it like does it for you. Yes, it's live. We're here.
Yeah, I noted in my head that you are talking with Shubham about some things. We didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I think like the reasons for like why you would need a component library kind of like, yeah, like AI does a lot of it for you. So I guess it makes sense why they're all on the decline as well.
But also, like, if you look at React Native paper,
yeah,
this is from CallStack, obviously. Thank you so much, Ryu, who maintains this. But like, it is material design. So like, you can ask AI to create your own material design styling in no time. You don't have to import anything. You don't have to like get to know the APIs for this particular components. Just create views and styles for them, and they behave exactly like material design. That's all. Okay. So everything is dropping in popularity in usage. Data visualization. I don't want to talk about that. I don't know anything about this. Like, you need to have a specific use case in order for to use that, right?
Yeah.
Victory Native. I don't even know what it is. Component composable interactive data visualization. Okay. SVG. That one I know.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense. It's the most popular one. Like it does more than just SVGs, right? So why not?
And then Skia, obviously.
Yeah, still.
Okay, let's go on.
Yes.
Anisha, we still have like maybe 3 sections to cover. Do you want to do debugging and profiling?
I mean, like, I don't know, because
how do you feel about console API being deprecated, being left out?
I would say this is the thing. Like, I think like this whole section, the fact that we now have like React Native dev tools, it's gonna be very skewed next year, right? Like, we'll see what the uptake is like. I mean, I'm still always use console API. Old habits die hard, but I think like a lot of the like I don't know if we scroll down and like maybe look at the pain points, but yeah, a lot of them will likely be resolved by the debugger. The old way.
Don't tell anyone.
I mean,
That might be my comment.
yeah.
Like I don't like how they removed it. I like how they still include it with some flag or something like that. Do you know what the story is about console in React Native right now?
I did. I should know this because I. Yeah.
You wrote an article about
I didn't
this.
write an article. I read about it. I read a funny article. It was meant to be like a jokes article about like my New Year's resolutions for React Native, and then it was like that I should stop using console log because with React Native dev tools you might as well use React Native dev tools. Yeah, so I think they're removing forward logs in Metro to align with modern browser tooling and remove all debugging interactions. Instead, use React Native DevTools fully featured console panel for logging. So I think it's like from the Metro bundler
Mhm.
is where the logs are coming out of.
Okay. But is
So-
it like it's gonna be there or not?
Well, you can use like the console panel in React Native DevTools, but you won't be able
Okay.
to use it in the Metro bundler. Is my
Okay,
understanding.
So everyone is using this console API. Element inspector. Sorry, like how do I count this? So I need to add those two numbers, right? So 40 and 60. So almost everyone is using console API.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you were saying next year is gonna be lower.
I expect so. Is there any comments on this section? Let's scroll down a little bit.
Oh, comment from someone.
Yeah,
Okay.
like from around the community. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, from Kasper and Bartek.
Yep.
So when you are learning a new tool, your first instinct is to print something to the console. Yes.
I mean, yeah, like old habits die hard, and for some reason, the old reliable logs work just fine for quick debugging. It is true. I mean, like when you want to just quickly check something, it is easy. So yeah, in 0.077, Meta made the controversial decision to remove logs from Metro. Yeah, so they removed it from Metro bundler, which were immediately brought back by the client's log flag. The king is dead. Long live the king. Yeah, people don't want to get rid of console logs. Flipper, once a powerful but frustrating tool to set up, was officially retired. It had the most negative sentiment out of all the tools in the 2024 survey. In return, Meta introduced a new default React Native debugging experience, React Native dev tools. We expect them to grow in popularity in the future. Yeah, so I think like this is exactly what we're saying, especially with the promise of a built-in network inspector and profiling. As our favorite cliche says, React Native is native. So you can rely on native tooling built into Android Studio and Xcode, which we often do. There are a number of interesting tools developed by the community, Reactotron, Radon, Flashlight, that have potential gain more traction in upcoming years. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with everything they've said.
Yeah.
I think, next year will be interesting for this section, for sure. But I don't think people are going to give up console logs.
Yeah, me neither. Then debugging intent, testing and monitoring. Let's go to resources. Let's jump around.
Okay.
Let's see if this live stream lands on the resources page. Probably not. What React Native resources do you consult? React Native docs. You know what I would like to do this year, and this is my New Year's resolution as well. Like part of my New Year's resolution is doing like live streams, so I can, like, I force myself to read. I force myself to like get this knowledge, because like other way, I either do it myself or I don't do it at all.
Yeah.
So if I have this like live stream once a week, I know that I have to do something new every week. My other resolution is I want to reread the React Native docs
Yeah.
and React docs because it's been a while since I read them from start to the end, and I need to do that this year because like I know there are a bunch of new developments. Like for example, like the whole new architecture docs. Have you read them?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I
I did
didn't.
read
Like
them. I think I do use them quite a lot because I feel like, I mean, it's a lot more part of my job to stay up to date with like what's happening as well, right? So I tend to use them a fair amount. I really like, the blog posts for every release. I do use it, and I think like they're like I did really like the overhaul of the React, docs. I
yeah,
think
I think it was a year ago or something.
yeah, it was quite recently. Like I think the React Native ones are like very up to date. Like I mean, I know like the old React docs needed an overhaul because of like, hooks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like with the React Native ones, like I find them really easy to use. I personally really like them.
Well, this seems like they also had like a refresh
A little
recently.
bit. I don't think it was
Yeah.
as significant as the
No,
React
not
docs.
as significant as React ones, but like they did have a refresh.
Yeah.
You have the guides, components,
Yeah.
APIs, architecture. You
Architecture,
didn't have
yeah.
architecture like
No, you didn't. But yeah,
yeah.
like I think
It has its own section now.
the architecture docs, I'll admit, are a little bit confusing, and I think that's because like there's been a lot of name changes, right? Like, so before, like the three pillars of the new architecture were like Fabric, JSI, and like CodeGen or something. No, yeah, maybe. But they've renamed things, and I think like obviously it's a work in progress, so that makes sense, but I think if you looked at this from like when they released the new architecture to like now, you're probably better off like looking at the discussions in the working group, like to stay up to date.
Okay.
And they do say that, like, yeah, like feel free to share your feedback, but
discussion inside the working group.
yeah,
So this is my like New Year's resolution. Probably I'm not gonna do it on the live stream because it's gonna be even more boring than reading other people like opinions live. But like, yeah, I need to do that. Expo docs, probably the next one. But Dex docs are specific for Expo users, and I'm not a really heavy Expo user. Self-directed learning. Okay, I don't know what it means, but okay. Videos, again, very broad category. AI tools, that's probably new. That's probably not
definitely,
how
yeah. I wouldn't have done that last year for sure. Online
should we try?
courses, on the job training, online courses, podcasts. So we're down here at the bottom, clearly.
We are here, yeah.
Mentoring, books, coding. I like that people still read books. 232 people are still reading books.
Are there any
like
books
that.
on like modern React Native?
I don't know. I don't read books. I only read fantasy books.
Okay, and then learning more React. That's the same.
Yeah, so that's what I think. Like, I think, yeah, React Native docs. Like,
Oh, okay.
This is
Here
probably
we will have
more.
So I wanted to
blog.
like get to the not from podcast category, but I wanted to see my podcast and React Native Radio and like all the other names. So it's here.
Okay.
So we have the React Native blog. We have
Dev.2, like number. I regularly use Dev.2, so I feel like it's a good, like a lot of people do use it as well.
Yeah. We have even like we have Callstack blog as a separate entry, but we also have the Ultimate Guide to React Native Optimization as a separate entry, which is great.
Is that the booklet? Your book?
Yeah.
On Callstack, yeah, fine.
Sorry, my phone is ringing.
Do you want to scroll down a bit more? I want to see what else is on here.
Yeah. I wanted to plug that we will release a new version of Ultimate Guide to React Native Optimization. Is gonna be like complete revamp. We're gonna remove some things from it that are not longer necessary, and obviously add some new things.
And then Nice. There's a lot of people who still use like Code Academy, Coursera. It's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, newsletters and news platforms. X.
This week in
okay.
React.
This week in React.
Yeah.
So actually, Sebastian is one of the people that are behind this, behind the state of
nice.
React.
Nice.
So you can see him here.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the newsletter. I read
Yeah.
it. I read it every week. I think it's a
I
great resource.
I remember when me and Ola, we had our first podcast together or something
Yeah.
like 3 years ago, and we were talking about like newsletters that we read,
Yeah.
and we forgot to mention Sebastian then.
How could you?
Yeah, and we mentioned a bunch of different things like state of JavaScript, like
Yeah.
JavaScript daily or weekly or something like that. And like I had his newsletter in my inbox and I didn't mention it. Sorry for that. So yeah, and this is one of the best. I also like the u dot something. Oh, but never mind. Let's go next. So React Native, that's subreddit. React Native newsletter, Infinite Red. Changelog by Expo, Blue Sky. Expo developers, optimistic updates. I don't know this one. I'm gonna subscribe to optimistic update by Expo.
What is? I've actually never read React Universe journals. I've not seen that.
Well, this is our newsletter, and like the name is probably new, but this is just newsletter from CallStack. We
fair
send
enough.
it every month or something like that.
Okay.
And we like gather news. So I think what is written in the last one, I think it comes directly from Mike, that like this newsletter is not intended to be like a news from all React and React Native world in order to like get that read this week in React from Sebastian. This is going to be more like open source, library centric stuff like that, things from CallStack. And not only from CallStack, but like from CallStack.
Of course.
And comment from Sebastian: the React Native resource ecosystem consolidated following on from previous year, with community members continuing to publish consistently. The official documentation is many updates.
I did, yeah. That's the thing. Like it is being like quite actively maintained.
Yeah, I love
our
how
three favorite podcasts release regular episodes on a weekly basis. Who are the three favorite podcasts?
I don't know. Let's see.
So I don't think Oh, okay. Here we go. This is where you'll be. Here, React Native.
I'm
Universe
here,
on
but
air.
we don't release every week.
So I think it's maybe React Native Radio.
React Native Radio releases constantly.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to stop talking. I'm quite ill.
Okay, let's. We're wrapping up. So thank you for including us. Thank you for listening to React Universe on air. I listen to React Native Radio. I sometimes listen to Rocket Ship. I'm on this one. The Syntax FM, I think I've heard a few episodes. But
I listen to it a lot. But
is it React Native centric?
It's React centric. Yeah, it's React centric.
Okay. Expo Router has a podcast?
Maybe it's a mistake. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake. Never podcast.
Takes much time. I prefer text.
That's nice. That's number one response.
I think there's only one. That's why.
React Native Directory. That's great. That's actually... We have a podcast coming up with your boss.
Yeah.
With Chris Track from Amazon, where we actually talk about React Native Directory. So like this is a great resource for anyone that wants to like search for libraries.
Yeah, so I think like because we had a big discussion with like the maintainers about maybe adding a filter to differentiate between like Fire OS and Android, because obviously they are different app stores. So I think like we use it all the time, but we want to make sure that like there is a way to filter between, those two different app stores. So
Anisha, let's wrap up. Let's wrap up with conclusion. React Native has continued to evolve. Yes. Leading framework. Yes. Substantial advancements. Yes. Expo emerging as a primary framework. This happened actually in Las Vegas this year
Yes.
on React Conf.
Yep.
So we have our first official React Native framework. Integration of new architecture. Yes.
Yeah, new architecture by default makes sense.
For this one, the introduction of React Native server components has also marked a pivotal moment, allowing developers to build more dynamic and efficient applications. I'm not sure, because we still
haven't
don't have
seen,
React
yeah.
server components in React
Yeah.
Native
Yeah.
officially yet. There are some experiments from Evan from Expo.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can play around with it, actually.
I haven't seen, like many people actually using it, like, so.
Let's see.
And
How
then,
can I search?
Oh,
You can.
yeah, but I haven't seen like a lot of usage. Yeah, because it's experimental. Yeah, this guy. Oh, the guide is still experimental.
No,
Yeah, it's an experimental feature. Yeah,
It's testing React
Yeah.
server components.
but I still think React Server Components is still in development. Like, it's not.
Okay, using React server components in Expo router apps. It's experimentally available. Okay, so you can actually
Yeah.
like use them.
Use it. Yeah.
Okay, going back here.
The rise of
the rise of-
AI. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, you can read as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Lucas.
It's just you said that your throat is hurting you already.
No, I know, but I think when I read out loud anyway. You continue.
The rise of AI-driven tools have transformed how developers approach art creation, enabling them to focus more on product innovation rather than technical complexities. I agree, and because of this, and I think I've heard it first on Tio's channel, that we see a lot of like consolidation in those like styling patterns because of AI, because AI is like using those patterns, and like people just don't care because they don't interact with the patterns themselves. They interact with them through proxy, through AI. So like, I don't care which kind of technology you use. So we will see a more consolidation in this space, basically, with inline and with less component libraries.
The next
Okay.
line sounds very AI written. The trend
The what?
reflects the next line sounds like it was AI written. Like,
Okay, this trend reflects a broader movement within the React Native community towards leveraging advanced technologies to streamline development processes and enhance user experiences. Yes.
leveraging advanced, streamline, enhance.
Yeah. When I ask for something, when I ask AI for something, I ask it to not use AI language, like dive
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
Dive deep is like this sentence that
Yeah.
shows you that this was written by AI. Okay, this is it. Thank you, Software Mention, so much for being a pillar of React Native community and like creating this. Thank you, Bartek, specifically, because like it was your idea to do that, to do the State of React Native 2024. Thank you, Anisha, for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if you want to join me again, just let me know. I will be happy to have you. Just like make sure that you have 2 hours of free time and something to talk about.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. And yeah, that's all. That's our stream. Thank you. Bye bye. So I'm